I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it there. But I was still lacking in terms of the server side of things. And in terms of certification, I've always had this passion for Cisco material. I used to listen to people like Jeremy Chara, and
how did you get to come, sorry, proud, just there, because it's like you're transitioning, coming from your traditional background into certifications, which I really love. And you're already getting into the discussion about how Jeremy Chara was really a great inspiration to you. But how did you get to transition? How did you discover certifications? Was it something you were aware of from your degree program?
no. Um, so I went for an attachment, and I met this guy. His name is Chris, and he didn't have an IT background.
Okay.
I had an IT degree. He didn't have an IT background. I think by then I was just out of school. Um, in fact, I went there for my attachment, and then this guy. So I was an intern, as it were,
All
and
right.
he was working, and he came from I can't remember what exactly he was doing, and he was so passionate about certification he was doing. He did a CCNP back in the day. I think it was around 2000.
Wow.
He did his CCNP, and he was always talking about these things, and he had such a passion, such a passion. I think that passion rubbed off on me from him, and after that, I knew that this is what I wanted to do.
I see.
I still went ahead and continued with my degree, um, and the certification path was not an easy one for me. I knew, I read, I studied and everything, but to get that first certification,
Which
it
was?
was not, it was CCNA,
Oh, CCNA.
Cisco CCNA.
Interesting.
I only got my first CCNA, my first certification in 2013 for various reasons.
Wow. Okay.
$300 was a lot of money
I understand. I
for us.
understand.
Yes.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
So, when you got your CCNA, did you feel like, okay, this is it? I am done, and happy endings. What was the benchmark from there that you built upon?
By no means. I was I wanted to get my CCIE.
Wow. Okay.
When I got my CCNA, and
Yes.
then I started to study for the CCNP. I
Hmm.
was studying for CCNP, but I was studying for my CCIE.
So you were studying for your CCNP and at the same time studying for your CCIE.
So look, I saw myself as the person who was studying for his CCIE when I was studying for my CCNP,
Okay.
because it was a building block to the CCIE.
Correct.
In case you are wondering, I never got that CCIE. I don't know if I still want it as much as I did back then,
Uh huh.
but I really wanted that thing.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah,
All right. Now, for those of us who may not know what CCIE is here, can you just, in a few sentences, explain what CCIE is?
uh, it has been called the Doctorate of Networking. Basically, in the so I did a lot of Cisco certification, and I really loved that program. I think it really lays a very good foundation
Okay.
in terms of understanding networking, understanding how things fit together. So back to the question, the CCIE. So there are three levels that we talk about mainly. So there's the associate level,
Yes.
there's the professional level, and then there's the expert level.
That's
At
right.
the associate level, that is the entry level um, certification for Cisco. And then after that, it's the professional level.
That's right.
And then the CCIE, your question.
Yes.
Um, okay, so it's a practical exam, an 8-hour exam where you are given scenarios. Just to bear with us, we've got a little one here.
Okay. No, that's beautiful.
Playing
That's
some
fine.
nice music for you.
Okay.
So it's an exam. that you get after you write that lab exam. The lab exam itself, it was $1,600.
That's right.
That's for the exam, and to get to write the exam, to get to take the exam, you had to. I'm using past tense for a reason.
Yes.
You had to first do a written exam just to qualify to take that exam. A lot of different vendors have got that type of certification, but Cisco was the first one to come up with such a certification. So yes, and then they give you a unique number.
Oh yeah.
After your name, and I even had my own number in my own mind.
Wow. So you could visualize your own number to say at one point you would be CCIE number this.
I had a number.
Wow. All right, that really sounds like a great passion. But just moving forward, what things do you think for somebody who is starting out? I'm just trying to understand from your background. I'm pretty sure you have learned a lot in the process. What do you think are the skills that somebody who is starting out should have as they go further? Maybe I'm just from maybe college, or maybe I'm now thinking of maybe getting into IT, or I'm in a different area and I want to transition. What are those skills that you think somebody who is getting into the IT industry should just have?
So it was interesting for me. I'll talk from my own experience.
Yes.
My path to the IT industry was just to, for me, I'm a curious person, and I wanted to know how things fit together. So for me, it was to start with knowing how the PC is built, how all those components come together.
Okay.
And then from there, you build on that. How do you connect things? How do you plug in this? How does this talk to this? Because the things talk to each other, and then you build on that. So that's the sort of framework that you can go through.
So curiosity is key.
I didn't get that.
You're saying so curiosity is key. You must be curious enough to figure out how the components are coming in together, how the communication happens at a wider scale, and so on.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And if you are to look at how things are from a cloud computing perspective, can you talk to us about that? Because it really seems that cloud computing is now like the big thing that is going on, and many organizations are really transitioning into the cloud. What is your take? I hear people asking, should I do AWS? Should I do Azure? Or should I do GCP? And others still ask, but what is cloud computing? What are you talking about when you say the cloud? And it's somehow your name seems to rhyme with the cloud, like proud cloud, sort of. There's a rhyme over there. So please take us that side.
Okay, I never thought about it like that. Proud from the cloud.
Okay.
So cloud is it's interesting, but basically, if you want to get into cloud, you need to understand the fundamentals.
Okay.
The fundamentals. When we talk about the fundamentals, you need to understand networking. How do devices talk to each other? The cloud has really changed the way that things communicate, the way that we secure a network. I know that you are into cybersecurity as well. The person who is going to become a cloud architect or a cloud engineer, they need to have an understanding of everything. You need to understand systems, operating systems. You need to understand networking. Networking is key.
Okay.
For me. I found that even when I talk to other people, or when I meet other people who are in the industry, the people that I work with, even my juniors and all those, for sometimes I find that the people who understand networking have got an advantage.
Okay.
You have a strong base, because when you want to go into security, when you talk about firewalls, you can understand. Cloud, what is cloud? It's just somebody else's computer. So how does your computer talk to that person's computer? So the people who be successful, and you need to know a little bit of programming, believe you me, just a little bit, not necessarily in depth, But let's face it, when we talk about cloud,
Yes.
we the way that we are deploying things, we now talk about infrastructure as code.
Okay.
The way we deploy virtual machines, it's no longer about clicking buttons, but it's you can automate things, you can do things at scale.
That's right.
So you need to have an understanding of JSON. You need to understand. You need to understand. You need to
Python
understand
and all these other scripting languages. You're right. You're right. No, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that, Proud. You just spoke about how your juniors with a networking background. Proud, are you still there? I seem to have lost you.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Sorry if I cut you short. I'm saying you just spoke about how your juniors with networking background seem to have an advantage when you're working in the cloud. Maybe you can just like take us a little bit off course. When you are considering a candidate to be in your department, what qualities do you look for? What is it that you consider? Would you hire me with very high certifications if I don't meet a certain quality, or would you hire me if I seem teachable but I don't have the kind of qualification you're after? What are the qualities that you're looking for, especially for those who are like maybe looking for jobs right now and they could be wondering why they're not striking their deals? Can you just give us a little bit of an insight into the management side of things when it comes to hiring tech professionals?
So the job market is really tough at the moment, and it's a paradox because while the job market is really tough, it's really hard to get good people. So the good person is someone. Yes, we need highly skilled people. We also need people who can learn things quickly. Who know how to learn, how to pick up new things quickly, because you are going to most likely the things that you are going to meet in the environment.
Yes.
You are going to meet some new things.
Okay.
Even myself today, I still hit my head against the wall when I still come against new things because every environment is different.
Okay.
So you want somebody who you don't want somebody who just knows their particular environment or the thing that they are familiar with. Maybe you did, yes, and for a long time I was a Cisco guy. I was just fanatical about Cisco, and maybe that's one of the mistakes that I made
Okay.
in my life. But well, how would you fare if we throw you into an environment with PM Sense or in an environment with Sophos, or you need to do FortiGate now? How are you able to pivot? How are you able to apply the things that you learned in this technology stack when you come into this technology stack? We live in a multi-cloud environment, different types of clouds. You are used to GCP, Google Cloud Platform. Now you are going to in our environment we are using Microsoft Azure. How are you going to adjust? So learning is a big thing. Then the other important one is communication.
Okay.
Communication. You need to be able to communicate with people. You need to be able to. One of the things that we miss as IT people is an understanding of the business. I think in the infrastructure guys are guilty of this, myself included. Versus the dev or the development guys. The dev guys, they are closer to the business. They solve business problems. But sometimes when you have to configure VLANs, or your mind is about, you are thinking about routing loops and all those things, you are really at the back end. You are not that close to the business all the time. And sometimes that disconnect can come out in the environment. So we need somebody who can talk to the business people, who can talk at the different levels. It's not all about when the thing about the CCIE is it's one of the most difficult exams.
That's right.
But and you think that, so if I can solve a very complex problem, then that's the kicker. That is what's going to set me apart. Not necessarily. Sometimes it's not necessarily the difficult thing. Sometimes the person that you need to serve, or the thing that is going to make a difference, or that is going to bring most money to the company, is that password reset. So it's because you reset the password for the CEO, and then the CEO is very happy with you and say, so I think these guys know what they are doing. So it's the way you handle people and the way you meet people at the point of their need that's
Okay.
going to really make a difference.
Okay, so we are slowly running out of time, and you're just mentioning the aspect of people skills. As much as I could be good with my VLANs and my OSPF and my BGP and everything else in that bag, you're also saying it's important for me to have very good communication skills so that I can be impactful. I think another important thing you're mentioning, that people who are in development are close to the business. They understand what challenges the business is facing and what solutions we need to have in place, as opposed to people in infrastructure whose job is just to make sure that, okay, we should have 30 VMs spinning to accommodate these web apps and that and that and that. That's a very interesting point. But I hope you can still direct us on how we can decide. Should we now go development and abandon infrastructure so it could be closer to the business, or should we have both? I do not know that.
Yeah, I think you need to you need to solve people's problems. At the
Okay.
end of the day, if if what I'm doing is not speaking to, is not relevant to the issues that the business is facing, we are, we are not there to play with toys. We are not there to experiment with the latest technology or the greatest technology, but we are there to make the business succeed. Actually, in the modern day, in the modern age, we're coming back to the discussion about cloud. Uh, IT can actually be a differentiator in the business, or there are some companies. If you talk about Uber, their IT, that's the business,
I
that's the
see.
business, and we need to. It's more of a mindset. I'm sure there are things, there are solutions that we can bring to the table, um,
As tech people.
infrastructure, as cloud architects, as engineers, and so on.
Interesting.
That we can bring to the table
All
if
right.
we are just close enough to the business. But the problem is that we tend to be those guys. It's in this day and age, we have moved. Somebody was saying that we've moved from the basement into the boardroom. Back in the day, the IT guys would have an office in the basement. Nobody knows what they are doing. And
You're
then
right.
everybody
You're right.
yes, they will just come. Oh, I need to reset my password. But things have changed.
Things have changed.
So,
Well, that's a very interesting point.
yeah,
That's a very interesting
yeah.
point. I like the fact that you mentioned to say we have moved from the basement, being grumpy and coding and doing whatever we're doing, to the boardroom. We have CISOs now, and you're working towards your cloud architect certifications and making sure that you're able to manage your cloud environment. Probably don't have much time. I would like to allow, or rather accommodate, at least 3 questions from the audience, and then you can answer those, and then we can have a conclusion of this. Any takers, if you would like to pose a question to Proud before we can wrap up? Oh, it's like you're so thorough.
Hello guys.
Oh yes, please, Tonde, please come through.
Hello guys.
Yes.
Tonde, we can get you. Perhaps you are muted.
I'm good. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I only got into the meeting just now. I was busy doing something there, but I don't think I missed out a lot. But I think I grasped a few things that I think maybe I might just want some clarity here and there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not wrong. I got in here when we were talking about Cisco and those other things. For some of us whose brains are not as sharp as your guys, we have tried to walk that path, but it was a bit challenging. I've been asking John this question so much. This CCNA, this CCNP, this networking certificate, it will consume a lot of time. It's necessary, yes. I know there are no shortcuts in life. but there should be an alternative route, if any, that might be a bit soft, trying to balance work and trying to balance this and that. What would be your suggestion to someone like myself, who doesn't hold a lot of, I don't have any certifications. I'm just trying to penetrate the industry, also the cloud and I'm mostly going to be in the security part, but I'm just trying to understand how this cloud is relevant to the security and all that. I'm really here to get information. I believe that I'm stuck here I am because I didn't have information in the past. So I want to seize every opportunity that is presented to me now, especially when it comes to getting information. I think information is invaluable and it's very important. It's worth more than the certification itself.
That's right.
So the information,
that's
right.
What
I require, guys. Help me to make the right decisions at the right time, to take the right path. Direct me, cloud, security, whatever. How are they intertwining there?
Proud.
What's relevant? What's not relevant?
Proud can take that up.
Get lost because we just want to have the big sets, But if the big set is not going to give me the money, then I think it's the path I might not want to take. You understand? That idea where in high school we're always saying, I'm doing sciences, I'm doing, that thing of pride, But if the sciences you are doing is the sciences that won't help you tomorrow, then it's a waste of time. So that's why I'm saying I need help there to make the right decision today. You guys have been in the industry. You know the forecast, the weather forecast in the industry in the next 2-3 years, what's going to be on demand, what's relevant. Please direct us towards that path.
Proud you can take that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to start with, I hope I'll keep it short. I'll try to keep it short. I want to start
please keep it short.
With the certifications being for the smart people. That's not necessarily. I know people who, with the right kind of support, I was privileged to be associated with another American institution where they call it the Zero to Engineer program. So they take you from zero. I was sitting there in classes with people who had never done any IT, or they were doing some other stuff, something completely different, like I don't know what do they call it? They call it what? HVAC.
HVAC, yes. The ventilation systems.
The ventilation, what?
Yes,
like
yes.
Those air
Correct.
Air conditioning systems.
Air conditioning systems.
Yes, that's what they were doing. But they got into networking. So it's not. It also takes. It takes work. We can't. There's no way we can get around that. It takes also the right kind of resources that you would need to get those certifications. Yes, a lot of people focus on taking some shortcuts to just say I have the certification. So they go and they get these brain dumps and stuff just to say you have the certification, or just to show that you have the certification because you want the paper, but you don't really understand what is or what it is that you are doing. And at the end of the day, even if you get the certification, you still don't understand and you will not be valuable to the employer. So it's a mixture of getting practical experience, getting the right type of guidance in terms of how to study, what are the things that you need to focus on, how to approach these exams, because it's a lot of money. And then it's also understanding the ecosystem, the IT ecosystem, how it works. We've got, at a high level, we've got the vendors. So these are the companies like Cisco, Microsoft. CompTIA is a vendor as well, but they are focused on on training only. Amazon, the AWS guys, Google, everyone knows Google. So it's understanding that ecosystem and then understanding where you want to go. IT is very broad. There are different. We are not all engineers. We are not all technicians, but we can all be in IT. But we can be doing different aspects of IT. Unfortunately, there has been an emphasis that everybody has to be a network engineer. It's wrong. So those are some of the things. Identifying the right path for yourself and having the right resources, the right type of guidance, then you can build up, and I'm sure you can find your path as well.
Thanks, Proud. We're running out of time. We only have 2 minutes remaining. Tafadzwa, can you please come in through quickly? Tonde, I hope that has been quite helpful for you. If it hasn't, please leave it in the group, and the rest of the guys, I think, will be able to assist you in that path. Tafadzwa, I think you've got...
I just wanted to add on to Tonde's question there.
Okay.
I just wanted to give more information as to how best he can break into the environment, especially the cloud computing and stuff that he was talking about. Remember when Proud was saying being curious. So nowadays, learning, you can self-study, having an idea before you go on for the certification. Get a feel and see how everything is, and you can research. Material is available most of the times online, and most of the cloud computing guys like the big three, Google or AWS, they have free tier platform in accounts where you can play around, create your VMs, create your the networks and stuff like that. Play around with those and see how which one you. Yeah, I think
that's quite interesting.
So. Yeah, like most of the times, just try to self-study, be curious, go out there and search around. That is the way that I've learned as well. Like for me, I'm always, I don't have many certifications, but I'm always playing around with new technologies. And yeah, even now with the ChatGPT as well, I've been playing around with it. And so, yeah, just play around with technologies, new platforms and stuff like that. Research, you don't really need to have a lot of money to be able to have a feel of how everything is. Yeah.
Thanks, Tafadzwa. That is really great. I love how Tafadzwa brings in the infrastructure part. Apart from him being in the development space, he understands how infrastructure simply integrates. Proud, I saw you got something to say. But just before you can hop in, I want you to actually conclude as you say that. And I've got one question for you as we conclude.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, no, I just wanted to say that actually the move towards cloud computing is making things easier. So most of the work that was being done by those high-level technicians / people or engineers, it can now be done. It has been made easier with the cloud. There are a lot of things that you can click and then it spins up the VM, the virtual machine for you in the background. It does all its magic, and then you get your. So it's meant to actually make it easier. So you need to position yourself as well. You need to position yourself very strategically, and by understanding how the ecosystem works.
All right, thanks for those closing remarks, Proud. One question for you. We just want to know. We're just curious. It might be a little bit personal, but we just want to know, as in, how many hours of sleep do you get each night?
Okay. So I wish I was quite a structured person to that extent where I can say I sleep for this many hours. But it varies. If I'm under pressure, I'm doing a lot of things. Besides being an engineer, I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a preacher. I do a lot of things. So juggling all those things at the same time, it does take its toll. So sometimes 5 hours, 6 hours. Weekends I tend to sleep a bit more. So I hope that answers. It's not really
sure.
hard and fast.
Oh, sure. No, that is really interesting. Thank you so much, Proud. We really appreciate you taking the time to be with us here, inspiring the younger generation of engineers and those who would like to transition in IT, and even us who already have the experience. I have definitely learned something in this whole process. We appreciate everybody for the questions and for your presence here, and we'll see you again next time. Please go out there and inspire the rest of the tech teams that you come across. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity, John. And thank you, team, for listening. And all the best. I wish you the very best. We are there.
Thank you.